Michelangelo sculptor, painter. I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free. In a quiet corner of Florence, a young sculptor named Andrea found a cracked block of marble at a local scrap yard. His friend Lorenzo laughed, "You can't create anything from that broken stone." But Andrea carried it home. As if possessed by a vision, he began carving relentlessly. Weeks later, Andrea unveiled a breathtaking statue of an angel that mesmerized everyone. Displayed at the market, even Lorenzo was astonished. "I can't believe such beauty was hidden in that stone," he exclaimed. Andrea smiled and said, "What was hidden wasn't just the angel, but hope within the stone itself. I didn't find it, the stone revealed it to me." Lorenzo then quipped, "But that angel looks like he enjoys pizza a bit too much." And everyone burst into laughter. The essence of art lies not in its finished form, but in the journey to create it. Pietro, a baker in Naples, experimented with new bread recipes every morning but often failed. His apprentice, Julia, asked, "Why don't you focus on making a single perfect loaf?" Pietro replied, "The perfect bread is just an illusion. The process is where the real flavor is found." One day, Pietro accidentally burned his bread to a crisp. Boldly, he labeled it Naples by night and put it out for tasting. To his surprise, it became a hit with customers. Julia admitted, "I now see the answer lies in the process." Pietro laughed, "But next time, let's aim for a little less char." As one carves a stone, they also chisel away unnecessary parts of themselves. Antonio, who worked in a small gallery in Venice, spent his evenings carving wood as a hobby. He started with large blocks, finding that each chip he removed lightened not only the sculpture but also his heart. One day, he overcarved, leaving his piece comically small. His friend Paolo joked, "That's not a sculpture anymore. It's a wood chip." Antonio laughed, replying, "But that chip holds all the burdens I've removed from myself." Using the leftover wood, he crafted a new, inspiring piece, stunning his audience. "I am not a genius. I have simply worked very hard." Caterina, a violin student living on the outskirts of Rome, struggled as her peers excelled around her. Frustrated, she asked her teacher, "Aldo, am I just not talented?" Aldo replied, "Caterina, genius doesn't exist. There are only those who pick up their instrument and those who don't." Encouraged, Caterina practiced tirelessly, even during breaks. Years later, she performed in her local orchestra to thunderous applause. She humbly said, "I'm no genius, I've just practiced a lot." Aldo laughed and added, "And don't forget, you still owe me for that lesson." Back then, the audience erupted in laughter. Great achievements begin with small actions. Massimo, a ship repairman in Naples, was tasked with fixing a massive vessel but didn't know where to start. Luigi, a seasoned shipwright, advised him, "Massimo, the first step is hammering in a small nail. Without that, No ship will ever float. Starting with a single nail, Massimo tackled the repairs one problem at a time. When the ship was finally ready, his colleagues praised him. Luigi patted his back and joked, "Well done, genius of the nail." Massimo laughed and confessed, "But don't tell anyone I hammered a few in the wrong way." Beauty is not seen with the eyes but felt with the heart. Elena, a guide at a Florence museum, faced a challenge when Marco, a young visitor with visual impairments, came to her tour. Unsure how to explain the paintings, she described their emotions and the stories behind them instead of just colors and shapes. Marco was deeply moved. "Elena, your words alone let me see the paintings. To me, that's the greatest beauty." Elena smiled, replying, "Actually, I think your joy is more beautiful than any painting here." Overhearing this, a nearby security guard joked, "But no touching the art," easing the mood with laughter. Do not fear criticism. Only those who do nothing are free from it. Giulio, a Milanese fashion designer, faced harsh online criticism after unveiling his new collection. Comments like "what a mess" and "zero taste" flooded in, shaking his confidence. His mentor, Franco, visited and said, "Giulio, if you fear criticism, do nothing. But then, you'll no longer be yourself." Encouraged, Giulio confidently showcased his designs at the next show. Afterward, an attendee remarked, "Your designs are bold. Perhaps too bold." Giulio smiled, replying, "Thank you. That's the point." The attendee laughed, "But can you make the shoes a little less wild?" Giulio chuckled, "Next season, I'll add cushions for comfort." Have courage. Safe paths don't lead to new discoveries. Antonio, a young adventurer in Rome, wanted to carve out a new trail in the local forest, but faced resistance from friends who warned, "It's too dangerous." Legendary mountaineer Claudio encouraged him, "Antonio, trails only exist because someone dared to walk them first." Inspired, Antonio picked up his axe and forged ahead. His trail became a popular attraction, celebrated as a local treasure. At the opening ceremony, Claudio joked, "By the way, Antonio, can you move that rock on the path? I tripped over it." Antonio laughed, "That's part of the discovery." Our future is shaped by the choices we make today. Laura, a student in Genoa, was torn between studying abroad or staying to work locally. Her family and friends offered conflicting advice. Finally, her grandmother gently said, "Laura, the future isn't decided by others. It's shaped by the steps you take today." Taking those words to heart, Laura chose to study abroad. Years later, she used her experiences to organize a grand event in Genoa, becoming a local hero. At the celebration, Laura thanked her grandmother, who replied, "But tell me, was the food abroad any good? Nothing beats Genoese pesto." Everyone burst into laughter.